All right, everybody. Welcome to Riding the Pine podcast. It is Friday, April 15th, and this is our second episode. On the show, we're going to discuss news from around MLB and also from the game on the PlayStation, the Show 16. So, first up, we got JB, who's going to give us a rundown of some injuries.
Okay, there was a couple big injuries around the baseball world this week. One of the big ones was Jacob deGrom for the Mets, maybe looking at a DL stint with a lat injury, and he is expected to throw a bullpen session today. So hopefully that all goes well and he's back and doesn't have to go on the DL. Also, Pittsburgh Pirates starter Francisco Liriano will skip his next start due to a right hamstring discomfort, and Ryan Vogelsong will start in his place. Twins closer Glenn Perkins also hit the DL this week with a shoulder strain, and he's gonna be out at least 15 days, and those things may linger, so it could be longer. Rockies outfielder Charlie Blackmon also hit the 15-day DL after he aggravated a previous turf toe injury, and he's unsure of how long he will be sidelined. Red Sox third baseman Pablo Sandoval also hit the 15-day DL with a shoulder strain. And there's been a lot of speculation that the Red Sox put him on the DL just so they didn't have to have him on the roster. But according to a couple other sources, he has gotten an MRI, and now he's going to see Dr. Andrews for a second opinion, so the injury could be pretty serious.
Well, like I said, he's taken a lot of flack and attack from the fans and from the media about his weight gain from the end of last year and through the spring training. So there's just another dark spot on Sandoval this year, and another dark spot on the Red Sox, I think.
Yeah, and I hate it for the Red Sox because they were looking at him to be a promising third baseman, new up and comer, paid him a lot of money, and he just hasn't done anything.
No, it's a shame. All right, we're gonna move on. So looks like baseball and baseball training possibly is trying to rocket into a new generation. So there's a story I'm going to link. There's going to be a link in the description of the full story. But the Tampa Bay Rays are using a virtual reality for batting practice. Now, I see some minor benefit and I see a drawback. Swinging a virtual bat is no way replacing actual batting practice. The only advantage I could see is in the article they state how you can load up one pitcher and then turn around and load up another pitcher. So it'll give them a chance to see a pitcher's release and track points better than watch an actual video possibly. But I still think that nothing's going to replace full-on batting practice, full-on cage work, and proper training by a hitting coach and just straight-up practice and playing the game. But it's definitely an interesting twist on baseball practice.
And I agree with you. I think it definitely has its drawbacks. Like, yeah, of course, swinging a virtual bat's nothing like swinging an actual bat. And just when you're out there, it's going to be a lot different because there's a lot more variables that take place. But definitely getting to see a pitcher's release point, see how the ball comes out of their hand, how it travels to the plate, it definitely could give some insight onto how to pick it up when you're actually out there.
Oh, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see if it becomes an actual viable training tool. But, hey, give them props for trying something.
Yeah, they're definitely trying something new, something innovative.
All right,
okay,
moving on.
So, and next topic, one of the marquee matchups of the week was at the beginning of the week. It was Marlins against the Mets with Noah Syndergaard and Jose Fernandez on the mound. And the matchup between these two pitchers, they are number one and number two in baseball in plate time, which is the time it takes for the ball to reach the plate, with Syndergaard at 0.38 seconds and Fernandez at 0.39 seconds. And between the two pitchers, they had 17 strikeouts in 12 innings pitched, but with Syndergaard having 12 of them. However, neither one of them got the win, and the Marlins wound up winning the game on a Martin Prado sac fly in the 8th inning. But I was watching that game, and man, were both of those pitchers fun to watch.
Oh, definitely. They definitely put on the clinic, but it's such a shame for both those pitchers to pitch a game the way they pitched and come up with a no decision. That's got to be disheartening. That's got to be.
Yeah, kind of like Stripling and his no decision at the beginning of the year with his no hitter.
Exactly. It's got to be tough when you look back and what could have been, right? But well, like I said, promising pitching perform. They put up good Ks and got decent ERAs. So
Oh yeah.
their stats are going to show whether the win-loss column shows it or not. Their stats definitely show off their ability.
And I think both of them now. I think Syndergaard has 22 strikeouts on the year, and Fernandez has 18. So they're both up there in total strikeouts as well.
Yeah, their numbers don't lie. That's for sure. All right, so one of the big stories, one of the interesting stories, I guess, to come out of this past week was Ichiro Suzuki now has 2,936 hits. It might be more as of the time I read the original story, but at the time he had just passed Barry Bonds for 33rd on the all-time hit list, and that's a pretty big feat. Passing some of the other greats of the baseball legends, but yeah, passing Barry Bonds had to be something for Suzuki, considering he kind of held him in high regard as a good hitter. I mean, even though Barry Bonds' career is marred with asterisks everywhere because of what he done, we're not going to get into that. But still, I mean, the dude was a hitter, was a hell of a hitter, and for people to be still able in this day and age to get past him on the list is pretty impressive.
And yeah, and you got to think about that. That's 2,936 hits in just Major League Baseball, not counting anything he did in Japan before he came over. So he's gotten a lot of hits in his career.
Definitely, yeah. He's definitely put up some monster numbers, and it'd be a sad day when he hangs up the cleats.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a ball player.
And it's kind of funny now because Barry Bonds is his hitting coach. So he gets to pass his own hitting coach, and Bonds gets to see that happen.
Yeah, I mean, imagine Bonds got to feel a little proud of him as well. I mean, it's he's his hitting coach, so the student surpasses the master.
Yeah.
That how the line goes.
And I know Bonds catches a lot of flack for the steroids, but I mean, even for a guy on steroids, he put up monstrous numbers. Like no one else did what he did.
The home runs are one thing, but I mean, like, the guy was a hell of a hitter. Like he could read pitching like nobody's business. So it definitely, like I said, like his career marred with asterisks and whatever. And anyone, some people say he should be in the Hall of Fame. Some people should. That's a totally different discussion. But yeah, I mean, like, the guy is a hell of a hitter, and I imagine anyone would be more than happy to pass him on the all-time hit list and even have him as a hitting coach. So. Props for Suzuki.
Yeah, steroids might change how far you can hit the ball, but they don't change how often you hit the ball.
Exactly. Very true statement.
So, okay, and so our next topic is going to be on Phillies starter Vince Velasquez's 16 strikeout, 3-hit shutout against the Padres yesterday. And man, was he on fire. And not only did Velasquez look amazing in that start, he also had a shutout in his first start, not a complete game shutout, but still a shutout nonetheless. And on top of Velasquez, the Phillies unexpectedly have the best pitching staff in the majors, or best starting pitching staff in the majors. Through 2 rotations, their starters have a combined 63 innings pitched, 15 earned runs, 12 walks, 75 Ks, and a 2.14 ERA with a 0.81 ratio. Velasquez, of course, leads the way with an ERA of 0. Jared Eichhoff is next with a 1.5 ERA, and then Jeremy Hellickson, who they picked up this year, is so far starting off great with a 1.54 ERA.
Yeah, that performance. I didn't see the game. I watched a lot of the highlights of his pitching performance. He had the batters just totally full.
They didn't know what to do.
16 Ks. No, 16 Ks. Like, that's impressive. 3 hits. I mean, it's against the Padres, but still, I don't care any team. If you can put up those kind of numbers, and I mean, look at his ERA through 2 games. Yeah. I mean, the pitching staff, their starters are putting up good numbers.
And his first
75 strikeouts.
Yeah, his first start was against the Mets, so it's not like that was a bad team. But so you can't just say it was the Padres.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, his first game, it wasn't a complete game. It was still a shutout when he pitched, and the combined numbers are astonishing for the first week of ball. So I mean, if the Phillies pitching can keep it up and their bats can stay even halfway lukewarm, the Phillies could be a team to really, really watch out for big numbers all year.
Yeah.
All right. So, the headline of the story that I wanted to start with is a pun, but it was not intended. Another possible black eye on baseball. Atlanta Braves player Hector Olivera has been arrested for a dispute with a woman at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Arlington. I'm going to link the original story in the description. I'm not going to get into the whole story, but apparently there was an altercation with the woman, some shoving and stuff going on, and the cops were called. So there hasn't been a follow-up story, but MLB and the Braves have done something about it. Olivera was placed on administrative leave after he was arrested on an off-field incident. The league could suspend him after they completed their investigation, and so right now he is on administrative leave, and it's not classed as a full suspension. There is a statement from the Braves. I'm going to read the quote from the Braves. It says, "We are extremely disappointed and troubled to learn of the allegations involving Hector Olivera. We will continue to gather information and will address the matter appropriately as we determine the facts. Major League Baseball has placed Olivera on administrative leave effective immediately." And that's end of statement, end quote. So, with other allegations made against other ball players, Jose Reyes and a few others, this is something that baseball doesn't need. Baseball doesn't need any drama off the field. They've had enough with steroid abuse and all that back quite a few years ago. The lockout, the walkout. Baseball is a pretty big popular damn sport again, and they don't need to become the NFL and have nothing but a lineup of abusers. So they need to step up, and they really need to show that these fellas. And I mean, and I'm not saying the guy's guilty. I'm not saying he's guilty, but if it turns out he is, the MLB and the Braves have to really lay down the law on this fella. And I think suspensions are going to have to be handed down in long ones, and penalties and fines. I mean, it's a disturbing trend. The MLB is not the NFL.
Oh no, definitely not. The Braves just can't catch a break, honestly. And Olivera was supposed to be a promising young guy coming up, and they got him in the trade last year when they sent Alex Wood to the Dodgers, and he hasn't produced, and now this. I don't know. There's no place for it because Jose Reyes had the problem earlier with the Rockies, and he's still out. There's no place for this in baseball, honestly.
Oh, definitely not. Like I said, if it turns out that it's false allegations and everything else, then hope the law throws the book at the woman. I mean, I'm not saying that he's wrong and she's right and everything else. I'm not going to get into he said she said deal, but yeah, I mean, like if this turns out that he was smacking her around, or not even Olivera. I mean, the next ball player that comes up through the, and gets hauled off to jail for beating a woman. Doing anything of violence off the field. I mean, there's no need of it. You're professional ball players, act professional on and off the field. It's got to be, it's that easy.
Exactly. And if he does officially get charged, I wholeheartedly expect a suspension from MLB.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they got to do something. I mean, I don't know what MLB can do for what they have in policy in place for how long they can suspend somebody and what kind of fines they can levy. But I imagine the team also has action they can take against their players as well. So, like I said, this guy's full on charge, and it turns out that he was smacking this woman around. They need to take a hard look at their suspension rules and their fine rules, and nip this in the bud before it turns into a weekly story.
Yep. Okay, so our next topic is going to be another pitching topic. The Yankees bullpen, before a couple days ago, had an ERA of 0.85 with 32 strikeouts and only 5 walks in 21 1/3 innings pitched. Of course, that was before Wednesday night. The Blue Jays scored 4 earned runs off of Ivan Nova in a single inning, and if not for that inning, though, the Yankees bullpen would now have 23 2/3 innings pitched with 2 earned runs on the year. That equates to an ERA of 0.76. But now, after Nova's outing, they have a 2.16 ERA on the year. Doesn't look as good, but still one of the top in the league. But the number one team in the league is now the White Sox with a bullpen ERA of 1.11, and the Cubs in a close second with a 1.21.
Yeah, watching I'm a Jays fan. I made that known in the first episode, and I'm gonna make it known again here. I'm a Jays fan, so yeah. Watching the Yankees bullpen pick apart the Jays on the series opener was a little disheartening, to say the
Yeah.
least. I kind of the Jays' bats have been semi-silent. I mean, Donaldson's had a hit in every game. He's 5 home runs now after last night's 3-run blast. But yeah, I mean, the Jays' bats have been fairly silent compared to what everyone would probably expect them to be off the bat. But um, you know, I'm impressed with the Yankees bullpen. I didn't think their bullpen was gonna, put up that kind of numbers right off the bat. And hey, big props to the White Sox and to the Cubs bullpen. That's amazing.
Yeah.
There's some promising numbers put up. Whenever people are now calling the day of the bullpen or the year of the bullpen. A lot of people are saying if you don't got the good relievers, you're not going to win games. But I mean, they're making a case for it with the numbers they're putting up for sure.
Now, I definitely expected the Yankees to have a bullpen like this good, because I mean, and this is without Chapman. So once he gets back from his suspension,
That's
he's
true.
he's gonna come back, and I don't see how it can't get better. But definitely did not see the White Sox or the Cubs bullpen putting up numbers like that, and those bullpen numbers will definitely help both of those teams in their hopes for playoffs.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, there's impressive numbers to say the least. So I had 2 topics here, but I'm gonna kind of put them both together. Um, this is the Harper number 100 home run was a grand slam. Hollywood could not have wrote that any better. Um, for someone to step up to the plate with the bases loaded with 99 home runs and to hit a grand slam for number 100, that definitely, it sounds more like a Cinderella Hollywood story than real life. And it was an impressive blast. He turned on that pitch and there was no looking back. So I mean, it definitely deserved the curtain call that he took. Man, this dude's a beast. Putting up big numbers. And right quick, I'll also talk about another impressive at bat. D. Gordon faced 16 pitches, which 15 of those were consecutive fastballs from the Mets' Jim Henderson until he finally got a bloop hit. Now, I mean, I don't know if anyone that listens to this plays a lot of MLB The Show, but I remember playing last year a lot of the MLB 15, and I remember facing pitchers, and I just fell off pitch after pitch after pitch. Never got up to 16, but man, that watching D. Gordon face 16 pitches, it was almost comical. And I mean, I don't know, I almost gotta feel bad for Henderson for losing out on that deal and giving up the hit at the end. But man, that was quite an at bat.
And they did say that was a franchise record, most pitches in an at bat for the Marlins. And
Oh really?
yeah, and I
Wow.
think they said that it's like the most since I want to say 2012. I think what they said was Dan Ugla had a 16, which surprises me more than D. Gordon, if that was who they said. But
Yeah, really.
and I guess Harper's got to take his 100 emoji off his bat now that he actually got it. But yeah,
Exactly.
that ball was destroyed. He hit it off the second deck of in right center at Nationals Park. It was a no doubter.
Oh yeah, it was like I said. It's been played and played and played and played and replayed, and it's gonna be a play of the week and play of the month and a play of the year. They'll be talking about it. Like I said, to hit 100 and be a grand slam, that is just too much.
And so our next story is a lot of pitching news this week. And
That's all you seem to talk about is pitching news.
hey, I'm a pitcher, so I like pitching. I like pitching news. But anyways, I hope this story comes true. Honestly, I would love to see him back. Johan Santana is still trying to make a comeback and hopes for a midsummer or mid-season return to baseball this year. He's looking for a team that gives him familiarity and comfort So most likely he'll try and join the Twins and the Mets, which is where he played all his career. And I mean, back 8 years ago, that guy was one of the most dominant pitchers in the majors, and it would be great if he could even come close to the form that he was in before. Because honestly, he's never really been the same after that no-hitter for the Mets, after he threw 134 pitches. And that might not be the only correlation between the two, but it's got to have something to do with it.
Yeah, throwing 134 pitches, that's high. I mean, in today's numbers, I mean, that's a lot of pitches, especially for a hard-throwing pitcher. And I mean, that's a lot of pitches. I mean, no one throws that many pitches now.
No,
but I mean, leaving someone in for is for a no-hitter. I mean, that's what you're gonna do. But yeah, it'd be neat to see him come back. The biggest question is going to be what's his form going to be like, and is it if he comes back, it's you want him in good form. You don't want him to come back and have horrible appearances and not basically not be be nothing but, I guess we'll say, a shell of his former self. It's always, you don't want to be a sad story, that's for sure.
The only other pitcher I could think about throwing anywhere near that many pitches, and he actually threw more, was Edwin Jackson in his no-hitter for Arizona back in 2010. But he threw 149 pitches.
That's right. Yeah, but on an average, second pitchers hit 100. The bullpen's getting warmed up and they're pulling them out of the game. So for to think that to follow through 134 pitches, 149 pitches, those are big numbers. And I mean, it's definitely deserve an extra day off for that.
And again, where's Edwin Jackson now? So I mean, he's not nearly as good as he used to be, but he's still around. But it could have had a lasting effect on him. So
as well. So yeah, it's hard to say. Maybe these are the cases that a lot of the coaching staff and the pitching staff are looking at. These are two big cases to say, we don't want our starters pitching 120 pitch games anymore because hey, look at the numbers on Santana and
Edwin Jackson.
What you just mentioned?
Edwin Jackson.
And Jackson. So Edwin Jackson. So I mean, they definitely make a case for not pushing their starters past 100 pitches. So what we're going to end on MLB news is huge. This is a huge news, folks. Hope you're sitting down. Put your coffee down. Everybody get buckled in. Huge news.
Groundbreaking.
The Dodgers reveal. Yeah, it's groundbreaking. The Dodgers reveal a new matte helmet with a 3D logo.
What'd you just say?
Let that sink in. They have a new matte helmet and a 3D logo.
Oh man.
I'll right off the bat, I'll say the new matte helmet looks nice. That blue matte does look pretty sharp. The logo, I can give or take. It looks a little cheap. There's going to be a link in the description to the story about how it was first talked about, the Uni Watch. What I'm going to recommend you is watch the top video in that link. The interview is laughable. They make some points of the reasoning behind this 3D logo. Like I said, it's innovative, but I mean, really, it's a logo on a helmet. It's not groundbreaking by any means, but I thought it was kind of funny. I wanted to mention it. So that kind of ends our look at MLB news. So we're going to move on to talk a bit about the Show 16, and what I'm going to focus on here is on the Show 16 subreddit. I'll have the link for that in the description below as well. But it's they have new stickied daily threads. So we'll give a quick talk about them, and then JB's got one thing he wants to follow up on about the show itself. So on the subreddit, they have come up with daily stickies, and there's more than 5. So there's one that's, I don't know if they're going to double it up every day, but they have them labeled as Mentor Me Monday. So they're looking to give strategy, game tips, lineup suggestions, player suggestions. They say no question too dumb. Well, I'm gonna challenge them next week, and I'm gonna come up with some dumb questions. They also have one that's Road to the Show Tuesday. It's all Road to the Show talk all day. So I mentioned people could talk about their characters or what how many characters they're playing, etc. So if you're looking to talk about your Road to the Show character, check out the show subreddit on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, this should be a big thread. Weird Wednesdays. Share your off-base stories, glitches, images, and videos. So anyone that has some interesting videos and images they want to show up on the subreddit, feel free to drop over on Wednesday. On Thursday, they switch over to franchise with Franchise Thursday. Discuss your franchise and everything related to franchise mode. What I'd use this for is, since I'm pretty new to playing franchise, I dabbled a little bit in it last year. This year, I'm going to basically start up a franchise, and I'm going to try to manage my team all the way to the World Series. Go Blue Jays. So what I recommend, that's what I'm going to use it for, is asking, what players should I kind of look for, like who's good contract money. Like, you got to play under a cap. So, like playing for a franchise, I'm going to try to play it realistic. So, hey, if you're interested about, like, good quality first baseman, I think this would be the spot to ask some people. And also on Mentor Monday, I mean, I know it's probably going to be related more to Diamond Dynasty and to Battle Royale, but I mean, you can also ask the question on Monday. What they have for Friday is Find a Friend Friday. So those would be a thread for, looking people wanting to play Diamond Dynasty against each other, and maybe just, hey, friends on PlayStation that play baseball. And another post that they had it up on Thursday. And I don't know if it's going to be a Thursday thing or a weekly or bi-weekly thread, but called Shit Talk Super Thread. Anger, hate, desperation, shit talk encouraged, all caps only. So there's a thread for you to go on and bitch about everything and anything, because I don't think it's solely related to MLB The Show. I mean, you could probably go in there and all caps and bitch about your wife, your girlfriend, your cat, your dog, your boss. Feel free.
And so
JB's going to end off the show with his last topic about the show 16.
And so the card everyone's been waiting for since the first week of baseball, Trevor Story, was finally released in this newest update, and he was introduced at what pretty much everyone was expected, a high bronze, which the prediction on him was pretty much a high bronze, low silver, so right in where we were all thinking. And 76 overall, and he has very similar power ratings as Chris Bryant did when he was introduced middle of the year last year. So mid-70s power, lower 70s power against righties, mid-70s power against lefties. So he's definitely going to be a good hitter, and he capped out right off the bat at 7,700 stubs to buy him for. He's settled out around 1,400 right now, so he's come back down to earth. But still, for a high bronze player, 1,400 stubs is a lot.
Oh, definitely. I was surprised. I knew he was going to be up there, and I knew the first few people to actually get the Trevor Story card, they weren't going to play with him. They were going to put him right up on the marketplace, and they were going to put a big dollar figure on them. Sorry, stub figure. We'll say dollar figure, and people would buy him. But like, I haven't heard of any. I've been watching the subreddit. I watch it quite frequently, and I haven't seen any big posts. Oh, I used Trevor Story in my Diamond Dynasty and hit 4 home runs. Like, I haven't seen any of those posts, and I don't know anyone who's actually used him in game. So a bronze, hey, I mean 76 overall as a shortstop. If you don't have a good shortstop, I would complain. But I still sure as hell wouldn't have paid the money that people were paying to get a Trevor Story card.
Yeah, he's very usable just because there's not that many good shortstops. I mean, there's some, like, ones, of course, like Tulo and Correa are going to be the top two. But after that, it drops off. Like, I've been playing the show for a month now, and my highest shortstop's an 80 overall. So there's definitely...
Yeah, I have Zimmerman. Yeah, Zimmerman's mine. I can't remember his rating. He's a silver, but... can't remember the exact number. He's a mid-silver, I think. I have Zimmerman. So, yeah, I mean, like, if you need a good shortstop, I mean, definitely, if he puts up the numbers that he keeps putting up, his card is going to increase.
Yeah, he's just going to go up.
If you can grab him, if you can get him at a good price or get him in a pack pull, or as a reward for playing the game, it definitely, I wouldn't be a card I'd be looking to get rid of. I mean, if the guy puts up the numbers, he's going to be worth money again, and his value is going to go up. His rating is going to go up, and you're going to have a good player. But I wouldn't have been out, first day and drop 7,000 stubs on a bronze card. I have better things to do with my stubs.
Oh no, definitely not. I would much rather buy. Although the packs are pretty bad, I would much rather just use it to flip cards. But I think Trevor
Yeah,
Story.
flip cards.
I think Story's gonna just be until he goes up. If he keeps producing like he is, it's just gonna be a situational player that you'll put in when his inside edge matchup is good. And today it's really good. So if that is an option for you, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you got the extra stubs, or maybe you just made a good deal, or if you did get them in a pull, I'd hold on to them. I mean, like I'm gonna keep an eye on the market, and if I haven't get it in a pack pull or as a reward card, I'm gonna grab them. I mean, you'd be kind of stupid not to if you can get them for a cheap enough price. But I definitely, like I said, watch the market, watch them drop down a few more 100 stubs, and then if you got the stubs to spare, I'd say grab them. But yeah, I wouldn't rush right out and drop the big coin on them. But
And he definitely
was definitely interesting to watch the frenzy around the car when it was launched.
and he made the Rockies collection go up in price. So if you didn't complete it yet, you're out of luck now. You got to get him.
Exactly. Like I said, just if you're holding out like I am, just keep watching the market every day. He'll slowly drop in price because the market's going to be full of them. More and more people will get him because he's a bronze, so it's not like it's a diamond or a gold where he's going to be rare to get a reward or in a card pool. So just be patient and you'll get the story eventually. All right, so what we're going to do is I think we're going to end the episode here. I think this was a little bit shorter than last time, so anyone that's stuck around, thank you very much. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Definitely throw some comments down below. Yeah, definitely comment what you think. Any suggestions. Down the road, we're probably going to look at maybe doing a Q&A. Maybe kind of like an AMA maybe a little bit. Maybe we can get off the topic of baseball and maybe even put out a separate video, or maybe even go crazy and even do a live stream, do an AMA live stream or something to get the fans involved. But definitely, yeah, share, like, subscribe. You know the deal. All right. Thanks for watching.